Well, hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Social Strategy Mum podcast and live show. And I'm super excited to be joined today by an amazing lady who I have had the pleasure of getting to know recently in my mastermind. Welcome, Sabrina.
Hello. Oh, I'm super excited to be here, Caroline.
I'm so excited to have you on, and I'm really excited because this is going to be a bit of a slightly different conversation to some of the conversations that we normally have on the podcast. We're going to step away from the social media piece for a minute and get into focusing on one of my really passionate parts of my business, which is the mum juggle when it comes to business and mumming and all the other things that we kind of need to be doing all at the same time in 24 hours of the day. So this is going to be amazing. Sabrina, can you introduce yourself and what you do to the audience, to people who may not have heard of you?
Okay, all right. So I'm Sabrina and my business is the Integrative Mum. So I'm a wife, I'm a mum to 3 boys who keep me very, very busy and on my toes. And I live on the Central Coast in New South Wales. So I've grown up here as well, love where I live. And so my business, the Integrative Mum, I'm a health coach to mums in business. So I help them essentially get their energy back so they can keep up with their busy day. So all the things you've mentioned, juggling it all, we can have so much going on, our kids, our home. Some of us still work part-time as well. We've still got that going on. So we just have a lot of things to do and get done in a day. So I really believe it comes down to us being able to show up each day with energy, and feeling amazing so we can get it all done. And essentially that comes down to being healthy in the body and the mind. So in my business, I work really kind of primarily through making changes with mums through their food, their bodies, how they move their body, and their minds, their mindset and their well-being. So yeah, it's amazing. And I love what I do. Love what I do.
Yeah, I know. I can, since the day I met you, you just exude the passion of it. So that's so good. And I find it's so interesting that you talk about those 3 pieces, and we might actually, give me an idea, we might circle back there in a second, but can you just give us a bit of an insight into your journey? How did you end up where you are doing what you're doing?
Okay. So, actually, I guess how we talk about kind of pivotal moments, and that's kind of sets us off into a trajectory of where we are now. And that was really my youngest, my 3rd son, when he was in hospital. I was there in hospital for a while and kind of had a lot of time to sit and reflect. And I realized, where you're kind of sitting and reflecting on life, where you are, what are you doing, and what's it all about, really. So I guess I realized that I wanted to kind of give back and live more, and live more with purpose. So as cliche as that sounds, it really was one of those kind of moments. So yes, I loved my boys, they're incredible, but I knew I could do more. And so I had started a few different kind of businesses and different ventures and ideas, and none of them was anything that I was like super passionate about, ones that you would kind of jump out of bed and you would do no matter what, one of, that business, that business, right? Yep. So I thought, okay, what am I just was like, okay, what am I passionate about? What did friends come to me for? Like, what is it that, I love talking about? What can you, like, basically, what do I not stop talking about? So it was really, for me, it was about like sugar, right? And eating healthy, and working out, because I had previously kind of gone through a change myself where I'd cut back sugar. And it absolutely changed my health. It changed the way I was, how I showed up. And I thought, okay, how can I, and friends would come to me and say, hey, ask me questions. And I thought, okay, so how could I kind of turn that into something? Like, how could I work on this? So one thing kind of, led to another. And I thought, okay, I could go back and study, like, what could I do? So I discovered health coaching. And that really and so I thought, okay, I'll sign up, I'll have, I'll learn a bit more about health and kind of integrate that into the change that I made personally. And then I'd also had a business background as well. So I kind of was trying to throw everything into the mix, how could I make it all work, right? You kind of think, okay, well, it's all got to make sense into why I'm here and what I'm doing. So one thing led to another, and I went back to studying, became accredited as a integrative nutrition health coach. And then I just kept going. I just kept building. I really was passionate about helping mums, and then mums in business as well, because I combined my business background. So I had, over 15 years working in marketing and sales and, operations and that kind of thing. And one thing led to another. And then I guess here I am, tweaked and refined and over time, and then really put it all together in how I could, how I show up each day, combine that with my study and that kind of knowledge as well, and put together my programs and how I am able to help all the amazing mums that I help. So long-winded, but that's how I got here, Caroline.
No, I love that. Oh, Sabrina, I love that, because I think it really highlights this idea that business is this big journey, right? And things change and moments happen and ideas come, and it's just a constant evolution. And sometimes I think we don't hear enough stories about the evolution.
Yeah.
And so we're there thinking that that it's just this straight line to the end result, which you were and I were literally talking about before we hit record, and this has been something that's come up a few times, is this idea that it's just this messy process. It's not this linear thing. So thank you for sharing that, because it's so important that mums know.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And it's really important too, I think, as you go along that journey, is to acknowledge that it is messy. It isn't linear. And actually the hard part for me, I think, has been actually enjoying the moment right now where I'm at, not always thinking where I've got to be. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Actually, as a mum and as a mum in business, is just really that day, enjoying that day-to-day moments, which is so hard when we have all that stuff going on, but just, really trying to take that moment.
I love that. Yeah, absolutely. That is definitely been something that I've struggled with, and I reckon most mums struggle with, because we're busy and we're looking ahead and we're planning, and then we're like, oh, what did I actually do for the last half an hour? You're just on autopilot. So important. All right. Okay. So I want to just take you back. You talked about the 3 sort of pieces of the puzzle that you bring together for people. So it's the mindset, the food, and the movement. So can you just elaborate a little bit more on each of those pieces and how they kind of come together?
Yeah, absolutely. So with the work that I do, I really believe that it starts with food and upgrading your nutrition. And I always, I talk a lot about like a keystone habit, that one habit that you make a change with, and then that then has the ripple effect to other areas of your life. And for me, all the other areas of your health and well-being. So with the mums that I work with, we start on upgrading your nutrition. Okay. And it's really a lot about, changing a mindset around that diet and restrictive kind of eating. Okay. And then just really that is a lot of the work that I do initially with mums. And then once we start kind of working through upgrading your nutrition and eating better, then that has a ripple effect into, your body. So moving your body consistently and being that strong kind of fit mum that we want to be, and being able to keep up with our day, because it's really not just about the food that's on your plate. It's about keeping our body, active and healthy, and yes, looking in the mirror and being proud of what's looking back at you, but actually like feeling good within your body, feeling strong. And then the big component about that, which is also your mind, so it's the well-being, and it's integrating kind of those mindset tools daily, so you can keep that kind of calmer and more clarity about your mind. So you're not, and I'm sure we can all relate to this, you're not going from, 0 to that really cranky mum mode as quickly as some of us, we all have those days, like, let's be realistic, but it's really integrating those tools to help you manage your mind as well on a daily basis. So it's a lot about what we do daily, through food, body and mind, just so, you can be showing up the best you can.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love that, because I think it's so important. I know I've seen you talk a lot about diets, and ditching diets for an actual program or process that you can keep to, and that gives you everything that you need as well.
Yes, absolutely. So because I am a reformed diet junkie. I really am. Like, I've tried them all. You list it, I've tried it. Like, I think my mum would hate, like, I would hate to hear her list of how many she's heard me go on over the years. Like, it's quite embarrassing. But yeah, it's that whole restrictive mindset that so many of us are used to growing up. So that does take some mindset work to kind of work on that, and then really getting back to a state of balance with your eating, you know, and not, you know, worrying about that next meal, not being in that restrictive mindset. Oh, I can't have it, you know, I got to do this, I got to do that, because honestly, we don't really have time to do that. We don't want to be allocating time in our day to that. We've got so many other things we could be doing and making an impact with. We don't want to be thinking about, oh my gosh, I've got to weigh out whatever, or, oh, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. So it's really getting back to a place of balance and really nourishing your body, and thinking of it like as food as fuel. You know, so you're fueling your body, and it really is about those daily actions that I work with my clients, and then developing those daily habits that then, you know, they see over time how much they've upgraded their nutrition, and they're not worrying about the things that they, you know, used to worry about. They're not even eating the things that they used to, you know, eat. They're actually fueling their body properly, feeling great. And it's just that flow on effect that it has. Yeah.
I love that. So that is a perfect opportunity then for me to ask you if you could share just some tips, like what are some of the best tips or the things that you've seen mums do where it's just a small thing, but it makes like so much of a difference when it comes to that juggle. But also I love what you said about the food is fuel, because we need fuel for our families, also for our businesses. Like, this is part of the juggle. So yeah, what are some little things that we could be doing?
So some key things that kind of are really simple, but I think that we know, it's a lot about what, you know, what I do is we know what we should be doing, but we're not doing it, right? So because
100%.
we're juggling everything, right? We're really juggling everything. So a couple of things that I would say is to be organized and, you know, planning out your week ahead. So things like meal prepping. So I meal prep every Sunday. And when I'm doing my meal prep, I'll just have a list of all my go-to meals, really super simple meals. And that's another thing. Just think of it really simply. Don't overcomplicate your meals. And then just have a go-to list and plan out your week. And when I'm meal planning, I'll order my click and collect from Woolies, so wherever you might want to shop. But that's time saving in itself, you know, because all I've got to do is drive to Woolies whenever I've allocated my time, pick up my food, and away I come, you know, and back home I come. So meal prepping is really important. Organizing your food like we click and collect. I have this big philosophy about cooking once and eating twice. So perfect for us mums, right? I will bulk out my meal. So for example, I have this nachos mince that my boy's absolutely obsessed about. So I will make it 2 or 3 times bigger than I need to, bulk it out with veggies, you know, and then I'll freeze it off into into portions in the freezer. So on those busy days, like, you know, today you've got, you know, all your things happening, and then you've got tonight, you might have lives happening, you've got calls, you've got all the things. At least you've got things that you can just go to in your freezer and pull out, and you know you're fueling your body really well. You know your kids are going to be, you know, eating well as well. Add some steamed veggies, add some brown rice, add some kind of whole grain in there, and yeah, it just makes it so much easier. So cooking once, eating twice is another thing that is really another tip that's, you know, really important for us mums, I think.
Yeah, I love that. That is a really great tip. That's something we do in our house. We could probably do more, but we do it where we will make a double batch of things and have something in the freezer, which it just takes the load off when you can be like, okay, so like, you know, for us, for example, Wednesdays is netball training. Netball training's back. So my 9-year-old's at netball, and so it's like, okay, we don't get home until like 4:45, and then there's still homework, there's still showers, there's still all those things. Yeah. Let's make dinner really, really simple for the night.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't mind cooking. I've learned to love it over the years. I love cooking sweet things, but I, you know, we don't want to be spending ages in the kitchen either. Like, we really don't. And most of the time, I know for me, I've got 3 hangry boys, like, which is if I can't get something up on the table quickly, like, you know, it's tantrums galore. So just having that easy meal is just there, you know, and it's just a healthier option to take away as well, more cost effective, all those kind of things as well. But just having that there, so it's just, you don't have to go to too much extra effort. Just double up your next meal, you know, and then just freeze that off, and then just try and build on it from there.
Yeah, I love that. That's such a great tip. So I want to take you back, and you mentioned this thing, sugar.
Yeah.
which is another topic that I've seen you talk about quite a lot. And I know
Yeah.
that this is something that a lot of mums struggle with. Well, a lot of people struggle with sugar, really, but
Yeah.
I know for a lot of mums, and I'd put my hand up and say, like, it's often easy to just reach for that sugary snack or something to kind of keep us going. Like I'm a terror for that afternoon kind of slump.
Yeah.
So
3 p.m.
I would personally love, and I know that the listeners will love, a tip for what we can do to avoid that situation.
Yeah. Okay. Couple of things. Sugar is a massive thing. So that's one of the key ways that I work with mums that I do. And it's normally around 3 p.m. So normally you get that lull before
it's still pick up time.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. A couple of things. Substituting is key. So still having, like, just moving away from that sugary snack, that quick fix, because yes, you get that kick, like you're like, oh yeah, I got a bit of energy, and then you have the slump afterwards, and that's just, what sugar does. So substituting, so having some healthy kind of snacks available that you can snack on, rather than grabbing the chocolate or Coke, can of Coke, or whatever it might be that you use your favorite go-to. I have lots of recipes that are on my website, and there's so many out there, but just things like, making some bliss balls and having them there ready, even just a handful of nuts. But most mums I work with, because they love sugar, they love still a sweeter snack. So it's substituting those sugars with the not like less refined options. So there's lots of recipes out there, which I'm happy to share with your listeners as well. But yeah, there's so many things that you can make, again, freeze off in the freezer and be able to pull it out. But just having something there is really key, because if you go without, you're more likely to then hit that little bit, time later. So maybe it was in that 3 p.m. lull, you'll hit 4 or 5 o'clock, and then you're basically eating all the contents of your fridge. You know what I mean?
Yes.
To try and keep going.
Absolutely.
I used to say that a packet of Tim Tams was never safe in my house, because it was like, you open one and then you're like, oh, I've got to keep going, So yeah, and that's what it is. It's addictive. So yeah. Absolutely. So substituting, still having something, so you're not going without, but just looking at different options.
Yeah, I love that. I think every mum knows that 3 p.m. slump, and
absolutely.
And I do also know that if I don't eat something, then I'll end up eating later, and then I'm just getting closer to dinner time. And the kids are the same. I would never expect them to come home from school and not have a meal, basically.
Yeah. Exactly.
They're starving.
Yeah. And it goes back to that whole food is fuel philosophy too. So really, like, thinking even in your main meals, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, just really thinking about, how can I nourish my body? What am I eating? What's it going to, do for me, kind of thing. And then that's going to tie you over as well. That's going to get you a little bit through that 3 p.m. and then having that snack readily available as well. So
yeah, absolutely. Awesome tips. Thank you so much for sharing those. I guess I have one question that I wanted to ask, which is a personal thing of mine. I would love a couple of your best breakfast ideas.
Oh, excellent. Yes.
Yeah, because as a mum, I'm really thinking that my children have proper breakfast.
Yeah.
But I often notice that this is something that mums are just like drinking the coffee as they're running out the door or something like that. And I know that for some people, they don't feel that they need breakfast, but I definitely need to eat something in the morning. So hit me up with a couple of ideas, something a bit different that I can do for breakfast.
Yeah, I love this, because you know what, breakfast is so key, and so many mums that I work with either eat, skip breakfast or have something on the go that isn't actually, properly nourishing them. And then they get to that 10 p.m. lull where they're going to grab something to keep them going. Yeah. So some favorites of mine, smoothies. I am an absolute smoothie lover. And there's a couple of mornings that I leave super early. So I will actually make my smoothie the night before and then just store it in the fridge. And so I can just grab and go and have something really nourishing on the run. So smoothies are awesome. And you can jam pack them full of so much goodness. Chia seeds, there's so much you can put into a smoothie, and then just have it literally on the run. For those school drop-offs, wherever you're going, you can just have it in a cup like I do and keep sipping on it. Some chia seed pudding's another one. which you can make up and have it just in the fridge, and you can put lots of beautiful toppings on those as well. I've got all recipes up on my website as well for these. And overnight oats is probably another one. So you can make them up as well, have it in the fridge. I'm a real kind of grab and go for breakfast ideas, because you know what it's like. We're trying to get kids out the door, get them off to school, get everything, going. We are the the last one on the list, in terms of trying to get, look after ourselves. So if you can have something you can simply just grab and have on the run, or just, take with you, perfect.
Yeah, I love those. That's totally awesome ideas. Thank you for sharing that. Very cool. All right, so we've spoken a lot about some quick little habits and tips that we can get into to make this kind of juggle easier. You've shared, your amazing and crazy and very convoluted story to get to where you are now, which I'm pretty sure we all have one of those stories. So thank you so much for sharing all of that. The final thing is, for listeners or watchers, where can they find out more about you and maybe grab one of those amazing recipes?
Yes, awesome. So I have loads of recipes up on my website, which are all no refined sugar, and they're all recipes that are tried and tested by my family. It's really important. Simple, easy, and approved for lots of other families as well. So just www.theintegrativemum.com is my website. I am on Facebook, just at The Integrative Mum. Instagram, the same, at The Integrative Mum. But I love hanging out on Instagram. You will see me on there a lot. I'm in there every night on my stories, sharing my What's for Dinner at My Place segment, which I do, which I've been doing for over a year now. Every single night you'll see me on there sharing my dinner, and keeping it real and showing how easy, we eat, and how healthy, how easy it can be to eat healthy. So yeah, they're all the places that you'll be able to find me.
Beautiful. All right. Well, for everyone who is listening or watching, I will put all the links so that you can go ahead and find Sabrina in the show notes. I would love you to head over to Instagram. Let us know that you have listened to or watched this episode. Tag The Integrative Mum and Social Strategy Mum in your stories and let us know. Thank you so much, Sabrina, for giving us your time today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's been fun, and I hope, your listeners and followers have gotten a lot out of it. So thank you.
Oh, you're totally welcome. I am absolutely sure they have. Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you.